part 7 of the series in the new server covers from day 13 to 15, going from level 95 to 108. On day 13, the double loot was gone and the first thing I did was a test hunt in the hive to have a real hunt with normal loot. The result was still pretty decent. With just 1 EP drop, I was still about 15k of waste on the analyzer, which means I was making a bit of profit. After the hunt, I started doing questing. The first one was to finally get access to the Bombe's Island, as the world event of the Goroma volcano was finally gone. I was going to do a test hunt, but somebody was hunting there already, so I continued to do more questing. Next up was getting a blessed wooden stake, and also access to Yalahar. Since I was going to be traveling across Tibia, I used the opportunity to buy the items needed to unlock the access to the Yalahar boat, and also bought a few extras to resell for a profit. By the end, since I already have access to Mariana, I was able to get a secondary blessed stake, since Chandur is able to bless a stake every 7 days without having to travel to all the temples, so it's a good extra money there. And it didn't take long for the stake to sell for 50k. Now with my new toy, I wanted to try out the high class vampires in the Crypt of Hedron. This spawn is popular, but it was empty, so I was able to get a hunt in. Experience was of 530k raw in average, making a bit of profit from vampire tits and dust even if no rare items were dropped. Keep in mind, spending time on using the stake on everybody will lower the experience, so I was using it on half of them. The spawn is still risky at this level, so be aware of that. I had a few close calls and got a low HP screenshot twice, getting very lucky on the second one. I hunted here the entire day, leaving around 30 minutes of green stamina that I was too tired to use, finishing level 100, magic level 60, spending 100 TCs on 6 grey mana cast and buying back 125 throughout the day. Keep in mind that the reason I'm buying more casks despite still having potions saved is because I'm buying them in advance, and also since this is a no PvP server, I'm only buying from one person that has been trustworthy. Day 14 started with me going back to the spider lair, this time to finish the brimstone task that I left with 100 kills short of finishing, which took me about 40 minutes of hunting, but I also wanted to know how the spawn will go without double loot. And as expected, it is a big waste unless you loot multiple rares or the fangs are expensive. Moving on, I wanted to try the Bombe's Island. I knew the spawn wouldn't be as good anymore, but I still wanted to try it for the content, and it was a great call, because I got lucky and found the undead cavers inside the Lich Hell. In case you don't know, these are rare monsters that appear here sometimes, which can be tamed with a Mycelia Maximus, or you can kill 5 to get 50 charm points. In this one hunt I got the 5 kills, which I think is even luckier, as previous times I had done this for the charm it's usually 2 or 3 that appear. Anyways, as for the spawn, it was a still good experience with around 500k of raw XP. I looted a Boots of Haze, so I even profited in that hunt, but it's usually waste. Next up on the list to try was the Dark Faun's Cave, but this time it will be the last floor. This is pretty hard to hunt, and in most cases I wouldn't recommend. The raw experience here was of 550k and usually making profit from the rare drops, but it comes at a high risk. Hunting here I had a lot of close calls, 3 low HP screenshots, which one of them resulted in a death. That rune in particular is the hardest, and it was scary doing it every time. After the death, I bought blessings and decided to start the Greenbelt quest for eventually the Foxtail amulet, the mini bosses access, and also access to the Cormage spawn and the shortcut between the caves. But I wasn't planning on doing all of this now. My main goal was to try out Greenbelt, and since I was gonna go there regardless, I thought of doing some of the missions, and I did until the part that requires to go into the last floor of Greenbelt, which is enough to get access to the Cormage spawn. While I was there, I did a test hunt and I broke the 700k of raw XP, making it the highest I gotten outside of the Isabi Sphinx. With this, I finished the day, despite still having 1 hour of green stamina since it was getting late and I was still a bit tilted from the death earlier. But at least now I had a potential great spawn to continue hunting the next day. The results for today were from level 100 to 103, magic level 61. I bought 50 TCs and didn't spend any for today, marking the end of 2 weeks into the new server. For day 15, I wanted to keep on hunting Greenbelt, but since I logged in earlier than usual at a more contested time, it was taken. so I decided to try out Fairies, hoping that I would be able to get a proper hunt without running into other people to see the experience of the spawn, and I was able to do it, reaching about 550k peak of raw experience. But then I left early because of the raid of trolls in Carling, which is a common raid that the only purpose of going is to kill troll guards, as they are a rare monsters and 5 of them are worth 30 charm points. However, it's not easy to get, and if you want a chance at them, you need to head straight there when you see the message, as they spawn 2 minutes after the first message and one last time 1 minute after that. I didn't get any kills despite getting there early, as there was too many people there and using firebombs to increase their chances, which to be fair I didn't think of doing myself. After that, I logged out and came back later to see if Greenbelt was empty, and it was, so I started to hunt there. I was able to maintain over 700k of raw XP throughout the hunts, which was what I wanted, but it is also good for tasking werewolves, getting over 50 kills per 20-minute hunts, and also a overall profitable spawn, as they drop some rares often. But there is even a chance of making even more profit if you get a paladin armor from unrusting, so I recommend to bring some rust removers because the chances are pretty decent. I did end up getting one, which I sold for 200k later on, as they are on a big demand and low supply in new servers. However, it came at a price, which was of having to buy places again, as I ended up dying to once again a rare combo. Which is annoying because even though, yes, the spawn is very hard and very risky, my deaths are usually just to an insane combo by one monster. So after the death, I got tilted and stopped for the day, ending on level 107, magic level 61, in 15 days of playing around less than 3 hours a day. But keep in mind, all of it has been solo. At that time, I was still far behind from people team hunting, and I'm sitting on the 180s in the high scores. And that's it for this video. Thanks to Tuna Hero, Torty Slasher, and Drunken Watson for supporting the channel, and thank you guys for watching. If you like the content, consider subscribing and hope to see you again.